He now had to unlearn much that he had accumulated at Ghirlandaio Studio because of the differences in drawing for fresco and for sculpture. This is drawing for its own sake, Bertoldo cautioned him, in precisely the words Ghirlandaio had used to caution him against it. To achieve authority of eye and hand, Bertoldo drummed the differences into him. The sculptor is after three-dimensional figures, not only height and width, but depth. The painter draws to occupy space, the sculptor to displace it. The painter draws still life within a frame, the sculptor draws to surprise movement, to discover the tensions and torsions striving within the human figure. The painter draws to reveal the particular. The sculptor draws to unearth the universal. Comprendi? Understand? He demanded. Michelangelo was silent. Most important of all, the painter draws to externalize, to wrench a shape out of himself and set it down on paper. The sculptor draws to internalize, to pull a shape out of the world and solidify it within himself. Some of this Michelangelo had sensed, but much of it he recognized as the hard wisdom of experience. I am a stew, apologized Bertoldo. Everything that every sculptor in Tuscany has believed for 2 centuries has been poured into my head. You must forgive me if it leaks obiter dicta. Bertoldo, burdened with the task of rearing a new generation of sculptors, was a dedicated teacher. Unlike Ghirlandaio, who simply did not have the time. Sculptors are at best monosyllabic men. The sounds of the hammer and chisel, their over language, and their true speech, drowning out small voices in smaller worlds. Bertoldo was the exception. Michelangelo, you draw well, but it is also important to know why one must draw well. Drawing is a candle that can be lighted so that the sculptor does not have to grope in the dark. A plan for understanding the sculpture you are gazing at. To try to understand another human being, to grapple for his ultimate depths. That is the most dangerous of human endeavors. And all this the artist essays with no weapon but a pen or a charcoal. He shrugged. That romantic Torrigiani talks about going off to the wars. Child's play. There is no thrill of mortal danger to surpass that of a lone man trying to create something that never existed before. Michelangelo held his day's work in his hand, searching it as though to understand better what Bertoldo was saying, seeking to find in it some part of what Bertoldo wanted there. Drawing is the supreme way of blotting out your ignorance of a subject, the old man exhorted, establishing wisdom in its place just as Dante did when he wrote the lines of Purgatorio. Yes, drawing is like reading Homer, so that you will know about Priam and Helen of Troy. Suetonius, so that you may learn about the Caesars.